My child, stop scrolling. Do not move away from this message. Do not tell yourself you will come back later. Because what you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. Out of millions of people, somehow this message found you. And according to Archangel Michael, that is not an accident. Listen carefully. Heaven has been watching the battles you never told anyone about. The silent tears. The sleepless nights. The moments when you smiled in front of others while carrying storms inside your soul. The moments when you questioned everything. The moments when you wondered if your prayers were being ignored. The moments when you looked toward heaven and whispered, God, are you still there? And now, Archangel Michael says the answer is finally arriving. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Something has shifted in the spiritual realm. A door that remained locked for a very long time has begun to open. A blessing with your name on it has been released. And before this blessing reaches your hands, heaven is commanding you to hear this warning. Because there is something many people do when their miracle gets close. They doubt. They panic. They quit. They walk away seconds before the breakthrough appears. Do not become one of them. Because according to Archangel Michael, you are standing closer than you realize. Closer than last month. Closer than last year. Closer than you have ever been. In fact, something extraordinary is already moving behind the scenes. Even while you are listening to these words, someone is thinking about you. Someone is preparing to contact you. Someone who once overlooked your value is about to recognize it. And what happens next could completely change the direction of your life. But there is more. Archangel Michael says a hidden battle has been taking place around your blessing. A battle you could not see. Because not every obstacle is physical. Some obstacles are spiritual. Some delays were not punishment. Some closed doors were actually protection. Think about that. How many times were you disappointed because something didn't happen? Only to realize later that it saved you? How many people left your life? Only for you to discover they were never meant to stay? How many plans collapsed? Only for something better to emerge? This is why heaven says not to judge your story by the chapters that hurt. Because the ending has not been revealed yet. And according to Archangel Michael, the next chapter is unlike anything you expect. There is a reason you survived what should have broken you. There is a reason you kept getting back up. There is a reason you are still here. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared. Prepared for a level you could not enter before. Prepared for responsibilities you were not ready to carry. Prepared for blessings that require a stronger version of you. And now, that preparation season is ending. Listen carefully. Because this next revelation is powerful. Archangel Michael says many people around you see only the surface. They see your face. They hear your voice. They know your name. But they have absolutely no idea what heaven has planned for your future. No idea. If they knew what was coming, they would understand why the enemy fought so hard to discourage you. Why confusion attacked your mind. Why fear tried to control your decisions. Why discouragement appeared again and again? Because opposition often increases when destiny gets closer. And your destiny is closer than ever before. Right now. Take a moment and remember something. Remember every battle you thought would destroy you. Remember every setback. Every betrayal. Every rejection. Every disappointment. You survived all of it. You are still here. That alone is proof that heaven has not finished writing your story. But Archangel Michael says there is an urgent message you must hear. Do not allow old pain to make decisions for your future. Many people miss their blessing because they keep expecting disappointment. They expect betrayal. They expect failure. They expect loss. And without realizing it, it is sending it to transform you. And there is another revelation. One that shocked many heavenly messengers. Archangel Michael says your prayers traveled farther than you think. Every prayer. Every whisper. Every tear-filled conversation with God. None of it was wasted. Not one word. Even the prayers you forgot about. Even the prayers spoken years ago. Heaven remembers. And some of those answers are beginning to return. In ways you never expected. You may think God is late. But heaven says God is precise. There is a difference. Because timing can change everything. A blessing too early can become a burden. A blessing at the right time becomes a miracle. And your season has entered a new phase. The waiting season is ending. The receiving season is beginning. But before that blessing fully arrives, Archangel Michael says you must release something. Release the belief that your best days are behind you. Release the belief that you've missed your chance. Release the belief that everyone else is chosen except you. Because none of those thoughts came from heaven. The truth is different. The truth is that heaven still has plans for you. The truth is that your story is not over. The truth is that what is coming is greater than what has left. And the truth is, you were guided to this message for a reason. Not by coincidence. Not by luck. For a reason. There is something happening right now. A shift. An invisible movement. A rearrangement of circumstances. A preparation of opportunities. A positioning of people. A release of favor. All moving toward you. And while you cannot see every detail, heaven can. Archangel Michael can. And the message remains the same. Do not quit. Do not give up. Do not walk away. Because your blessing has arrived closer than ever before. In fact, someone listening right now is about to witness a change that cannot be explained logically. A change that will leave others wondering what happened. A change that will remind you that God never forgot you. A change that will make past struggles look different. And when it happens, you will remember this moment. You will remember this message. You will remember these words. Because heaven wanted you to know beforehand. Wanted you to stay ready. Wanted you to stay faithful. Wanted you to stay hopeful. Because what is approaching carries more power than the problems behind you. More strength than the fear around you. More purpose than the confusion you've been facing. So lift your eyes. Lift your expectations. Lift your faith. The season is changing. The atmosphere is changing. The direction is changing. And according to Archangel Michael, your blessing is no longer on its way. It has already been released. The only question now is whether you will believe it when it arrives. Stay ready. Stay alert. Stay faithful. Because heaven is moving. And your next chapter may begin sooner than you think. Now listen carefully. Because Archangel Michael says there is something even more astonishing that heaven wants you to understand. Your blessing did not appear overnight. What you are about to receive has been building for far longer than you realize. While you were waiting, God was working. While you were worrying, God was arranging. While you were crying, God was preparing. And while you were wondering whether your prayers mattered, heaven was already moving pieces into place. That is why Archangel Michael says you must not measure your progress by what your eyes can see. Because some of the greatest miracles begin in complete silence. Think about a seed buried beneath the ground. For a long time, nothing appears to happen. No movement. No growth. No evidence. Yet underneath the surface, everything is changing. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Life is emerging. And then one day, what was invisible suddenly becomes visible. Your season is very similar. Many people looked at your life and assumed nothing was happening. Some even believed your story had reached its limit. Some quietly decided that your best opportunities had already passed. But heaven says they were wrong. Because what looked like delay was actually preparation. And what looked like silence was actually strategy. Archangel Michael says there are blessings coming into your life that require a stronger version of you. That is why the process took time. Because heaven was preparing you to hold what you prayed for. There are people who, not the heartbreak, not the disappointments, not the lonely nights, none of it. And now Archangel Michael says a season of restoration is beginning. Listen to that word carefully. Restoration. Not replacement. Restoration. Because heaven is able to restore what seemed impossible to recover. Restore hope. Restore confidence. Restore peace. Restore joy. Restore purpose. And for some listening, even restore opportunities that seemed permanently lost. That is why you must guard your thoughts in this season. Because negative expectations can blind people to positive opportunities. Archangel Michael says some blessings arrive wearing ordinary clothes. Some miracles do not look dramatic at first. Some answers arrive through simple conversations. Unexpected phone calls. Chance meetings. New opportunities. Sudden ideas. Small decisions. And because they appear ordinary, many people overlook them. Do not make that mistake. Stay aware. Stay observant. Stay spiritually alert. Because heaven often works through doors people almost ignored. And there is something else. Something very important. Archangel Michael says there are individuals who underestimated you. People who judged your future based on your current circumstances. People who saw your struggles but never saw your potential. People who doubted your ability. People who questioned your purpose. People who quietly expected you to fail. Do not waste energy proving them wrong. Heaven will do that for you. Your success will speak louder than any argument. Your breakthrough will answer questions you never needed to explain. Your blessing will reveal truths that words never could. Because when heaven elevates someone, no human opinion can stop it. And when heaven opens a door, no earthly force can permanently close it. That is why Archangel Michael says your focus must remain forward, not backward. The past has already taken enough of your attention, enough of your energy, enough of your peace. The future deserves your focus now. Because there are opportunities ahead that your past cannot follow. There are blessings ahead that old fears cannot enter. There are victories ahead that old failures cannot prevent. And right now, something remarkable is happening. Even as you listen, heaven is shifting your perspective. You are beginning to see yourself differently. Not as someone defeated. Not as someone forgotten. Not as someone abandoned. But as someone chosen. Someone guided. Someone protected. Someone prepared. Someone whose story is still unfolding. And that realization changes everything. Because once you understand that heaven is working for you, you stop panicking over every obstacle. You stop assuming every delay is defeat. You stop interpreting every challenge as rejection. Instead, you begin trusting the process. Trusting the timing. Trusting the purpose. Trusting the path. Archangel Michael says there is enormous power in that trust. Because trust creates peace. And peace creates clarity. And clarity helps you recognize opportunities that fear would have hidden. Now hear this carefully. There is a blessing connected to courage. A blessing connected to action. A blessing connected to faith. And when the opportunity appears, you must move. Not recklessly. Not impulsively. But confidently. Because hesitation has stolen enough from you already. Fear has delayed enough already. Doubt has controlled enough already. This next season requires courage. The courage to believe again. The courage to hope again. The courage to trust again. The courage to dream again. And perhaps most importantly, the courage to receive. Many people know how to pray. Few people know how to receive. They pray for blessings. Then reject them when they arrive. They pray for opportunities. Then doubt them when they appear. They pray for change. Then fear it when it comes. Do not fall into that pattern. Because according to Archangel Michael, the blessing approaching you is not an accident. It is an answer. An answer to prayers. An answer to tears. An answer to faith. An answer to perseverance. An answer to the moments when you refuse to quit. And heaven says those moments mattered more than you know. Every time you kept going, something shifted. Every time you chose faith over fear, something shifted. Every time you refused to surrender, something shifted. The spiritual realm noticed. The heavenly hosts noticed. And now, the results of those choices are beginning to emerge. This is why Archangel Michael says your expectation should rise. Not because life will suddenly become perfect, but because heaven is actively involved in your journey. Challenges may still come, but they will not define you. Obstacles may still appear, but they will not stop you. Opposition may still exist, but it will not defeat you. Because there is a difference between facing difficulty and being abandoned. And heaven says you have never been abandoned. Not once. Not for a single moment. Even in your darkest seasons. Even in your hardest battles. Even in your deepest disappointments. You were never alone. You were being carried. Protected. Guided. Prepared. And now, the evidence of that protection is beginning to appear. Doors opening. Opportunities emerging. Favor increasing. Peace returning. Strength growing. Direction becoming clearer. One step at a time. One blessing at a time. One breakthrough at a time. Archangel Michael says this is only the beginning. The chapter ahead contains surprises you cannot yet imagine. Opportunities you cannot yet see. Connections you have not yet made. Victories you have not yet celebrated. And blessings you have not yet received. So keep moving forward. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Because heaven is not finished. In fact, the greatest part of your story may still be ahead of you. And according to Archangel Michael, the blessing that has arrived is only the first sign of everything that is about to follow. And now, Archangel Michael says there is one final revelation that many people are not prepared to hear. Because this message is not only about a blessing. It is about a transformation. A transformation that has already begun inside you. Most people spend their lives waiting for external changes. More money. A better opportunity. A different situation. A new relationship. A breakthrough. But heaven says the greatest miracle often begins within. Because when God changes the person's future changes with them. And that is exactly what has been happening in your life. Even if you did not notice it. Look back for a moment. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are not the same person you were during your hardest season. You have learned things. You have survived things. You have overcome things. You have grown stronger in ways nobody else can fully understand. The version of you listening right now carries wisdom that pain taught. Strength that struggle built. Patience that waiting developed. And faith that battles refined. That growth was not accidental. Archangel Michael says it was necessary. Because where heaven is leading you, the old version of you could not go. The old fears could not go. The old doubts could not go. The old limitations could not go. Something new had to emerge. And it has. Even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Now hear this carefully. Because this next part may be the most important message of all. Archangel Michael says there is a moment approaching that will test your belief. Not your strength. Not your intelligence. Not your resources. Your belief. A moment when circumstances may appear confusing. A moment when answers may not arrive immediately. A moment when old fears may try to return. And in that moment, you must remember everything heaven has spoken. Because blessings often arrive disguised as uncertainty. Doors often appear before confidence does. Opportunities often arrive before clarity. And miracles often begin before people realize they are witnessing one. Do not allow temporary confusion to make permanent decisions. Do not abandon the journey because one chapter feels difficult. Because according to Archangel Michael, the breakthrough is closer than the obstacle wants you to believe. The answer is closer than doubt wants you to believe. The blessing is closer than fear wants you to believe. And heaven says your responsibility is simple. Keep moving. One step. Then another. Then another. You do not need to know every detail. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need enough faith for the next step. Because every great journey is completed exactly that way. One step at a time. One decision at a time. One act of faith at a time. And there is something extraordinary that heaven wants you to understand. The blessing coming into your life is not only for you. It will affect other people. People you have not met yet. People who will be inspired by your story. People who will learn from your perseverance. People who will gain hope because you refuse to quit. That is why your journey matters. More than you realize. Your victory matters. More than you realize. Your breakthrough matters. More than you realize. Because your story is connected to stories you cannot yet see. Lives you cannot yet imagine. Opportunities you cannot yet understand. Archangel Michael says heaven often blesses one person to become a blessing for many. And that may be exactly what is beginning in your life. Now pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. And think about this. What if the waiting season was never meant to punish you? What if it was meant to prepare you? What if every delay had a purpose? What if every challenge carried a lesson? What if every disappointment was redirecting you toward something greater? Because heaven says that is exactly what has been happening. You were not being denied. You were being directed. You were not being forgotten. You were being prepared. You were not being abandoned. You were being protected. And now, the season of understanding is beginning. The pieces are starting to connect. The reasons are starting to emerge. The answers are starting to appear. And the future is starting to make sense. Not all at once. But gradually. Clearly. Powerfully. Archangel Michael says there is a reason this message found you today. A reason you stopped here. A reason you listened. A reason these words reached your ears. Because heaven wanted to remind you of something you almost forgot. You are stronger than you think. More capable than you think. More prepared than you think. And far more blessed than you realize. The enemy wanted you focused on what you lost. Heaven wants you focused on what remains. The enemy wanted you focused on closed doors. Heaven wants you focused on open ones. The enemy wanted you focused on fear. Heaven wants you focused on faith. And whichever voice you follow will shape the direction you move. So choose carefully. Choose hope. Choose courage. Choose trust. Choose faith. Because those choices carry power. Now the atmosphere around your life is changing. New possibilities are appearing. New opportunities are forming. New connections are approaching. New favor is being released. And according to Archangel Michael, some of these blessings will arrive when you least expect them. Not because heaven forgot, but because heaven loves surprising those who remain faithful. One conversation can change everything. One opportunity can change everything. One decision can change everything. One moment can change everything. And heaven says moments like these are closer than you think. Very close. Closer than they have ever been. So do not become discouraged now. Do not stop believing now. Do not surrender now. Because you have come too far. You have survived too much. You have endured too much. You have grown too much to quit at the edge of your breakthrough. The story is not ending. The story is expanding. The blessing is not shrinking. The blessing is growing. The door is not closing. The door is opening. And heaven says what comes next will remind you that every prayer mattered. Every tear mattered. Every battle mattered. Every act of faith mattered. Nothing was wasted. Absolutely nothing. And as this message comes to a close, Archangel Michael leaves you with these final words. Keep your heart open. Keep your faith alive. Keep your eyes forward. Keep your spirit strong. Because heaven is still moving. The blessing is still unfolding. The miracle is still developing. And the next chapter of your life may become one of the most beautiful chapters you have ever experienced. Not because everything will be easy, but because you will finally see the evidence that heaven was working all along. The waiting had a purpose. The struggle had a purpose. The preparation had a purpose. And now, the blessing has arrived. Receive it with gratitude. Walk in it with faith. And move forward with confidence. Because according to Archangel Michael, this is not the end of your story. It is only the beginning.